For the next assignment, and for assignments after that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a plan. Work our ideas out on paper first, and then work them out on clay. It's a lot easier to work ideas out on paper than it is in the clay. Now, sometimes when you're working with the clay, you'll have some great ideas. You make some adjustments. That's fine. But try and work it out on paper first. Like I say, it's just a lot quicker. And when you're doing it, go ahead and use some of the drawing skills that we've gained. Sorry for the interruption, but I just wanted to make it perfectly clear that you only have to do one thing for this project. Okay, one cup with a handle and a footer and some decoration, right? I give 4 examples, but that's just to help you out a little bit, give you some ideas and show different techniques to make different shapes. All right, but just so you know, you only have to do one thing. Okay, please enjoy the rest of the videos, and please go ahead and watch all the tutorials for this one. You might pick up a thing or two. Okay. All right, so for this assignment, you're going to go ahead and you're just going to make another hand-formed bowl. But this time, instead of it just being random, we want to go ahead and make it a shape that we wanted to make it. In other words, we're going to do it with purpose to really show control over it. So with this one, I think, here's one idea. Going to have a cup. So there's my cup shape. All right. Remember just a few things. A lot of the things that we're going to make are going to be cylindrical. So we don't want to make our cylinders like a long football. What we want to do is we want to make them round, just like flat circles. Okay. Anyways, and so not only do we want a shape that is sort of predetermined, so we have some control over it, but we also want to add a handle to this project. There's an idea. And we want to add ornamentation too. Something that's actually placed onto the vessel. So maybe the idea of some leaves. And maybe a few little flowers. These are just make-believe leaves and flowers. Just sort of generic. But who knows? Who knows what yours is going to look like? Any pattern that you wish. So when you're making it, be realistic, because after all, what this drawing really is not a fine work of art. It's a plan. It's a plan for you to follow in the same way that architects make plans for a house or a building. And then the construction workers, they go out, the carpenters, they follow those paper plans and they build a whole house. Okay, so in working out my plans, some things like, well, yeah, if I put a flower up that high, it would kind of get in the way of how somebody would drink. Remember, somebody's mouth would go there. So I'm not going to put a flower that high. Those are the kind of things that are simple to think about now, while everything is still just in the paper and pencil form. Change my mind. So something like that? Maybe. We'll see. We'll work it out. But something along those lines. The size and the shape of the leaves that I'm making, that matters. Because once again, it's a plan. So I want to be realistic about it. I can't make tiny, tiny things. That'd be very difficult. So I'm making them big enough to where that won't be an issue. Here, maybe another flower over here. We needed another flower in there somewhere. So that'll be going around the sides. Also, the handle, being realistic about the handle and how big that would have to be. Imagine yourself holding it. Would it work? Maybe that's a little bit too tight in there. Maybe something like that. You'll be adding a footer. We always put footers on things. If you go into your cupboards at home, you will find a footer on everything that you've got in there. All the bowls, all the cups, everything that's been commercially made, all have a footer that isolates the bottom of the cup or the bowl from the surface that it's sitting on. And in ceramics, what that does is it helps because right here on the footer, you don't glaze that part because it's sitting directly on the shelf, right? And it would stick. But you can glaze everything else. You can glaze all the top, all the bottom, and even underneath, just not where that footer hits the shelf. That's the only place. Okay. So remember, draw light and draw accurately because, once again, it's a plan. It should be a nice drawing. Put some effort into it. The effort that you put into the drawing is still far less than the effort that you'll do with a finished piece. Think about line and shape and form. You might even be putting in values. Later on, who knows, maybe you'll even be doing it in color so you can work out the colors of your glazes, because you might be able to make some changes to the ceramics as far as the building of it goes. But once you've glazed it, that's it. There's no going back from there. What you see is what you get. So I worked out my ideas. I drew lightly so that I was able to relate. Yeah, I drew lightly so that I was able to erase and be a little bit more free in my ideas. And then once I have it settled, I can make some nice, strong, finished lines that say, yeah, this is how I want it to be. This is just one idea. You come up with your own ideas. Think about what you could realistically do and do well. Start simple. Get more complex or more creative with the more skill that you gain. So like I say, that was one idea. Maybe your cup something more like this in shape. Maybe your cup is something more like this in shape. Leave room for designs. And we're not doing things to scale. Maybe this is a rather much larger cup than what it would first appear. Or maybe it's a very small cup. That's all right too. Or maybe your cup is something more like this. In any case, with these initial hand-built cups, don't make them too tall. Don't make them tall. Make your cups kind of low. That will be much easier for you to work out than taller cups. For a cup that was taller, something more like this, let's say, we'll use a slightly different technique. But for now, keep it simple, but keep it elegant. Make it something that you can do, and something that you can do well.